Well, hello and welcome back to Benefits TV. I'm your host, Christine Glazeman. Today, I'm going to share about some real life stories with health insurance and then also just my experience as a broker. So, I've been doing this for about 15 years. I started back in 2008. I got my license in January of 2008, and I started really just helping some individual clients here and there. But I've grown into helping small employer groups, that is, in small businesses that have under 100 employees, and mainly serving the greater Sacramento area. So I'll start off first with, I'll just share with what I'm currently working on. I have a current client who, unfortunately, she had an injury, which it's really sad and unfortunate, but it progressively got worse over this last year, and it's caused quite a bit of neurological complications, and she has had a hard time finding a good neurologist in network and also a neurosurgeon to address to correct what the injury caused. And so I've been helping her with just assessing different local networks and matching those with the different health insurance plans that are available in this area. Spent many hours actually running provider searches and doing comparisons. And we finally settled on one, and we're moving forward with that. However, I had an interesting experience I just wanted to share with you so you can get a little better understanding on the other side of health insurance, that is agents and brokers, and what we do and how we advocate for our clients. So I've been working with a general agency, and a general agency for independent health agent like myself, they are kind of like a broker's broker. And so they prepare all my quoting, they do all my proposals, they will prepare a case for me, they'll scrub it. Like I'll submit the paperwork for a new group, and they will go through and they'll scrub the apps and just get it all ready to send to the carrier. And they provide a very helpful service. They're very knowledgeable, and I rely on them for answering tougher questions, navigating different situations that need some more just expert and precise knowledge. And so I've been working with one general agency for several years, and then I got a consulting gig with a financial firm, and that financial firm was using a different general agency. So I got some experience with a different group of people with a different company. I actually really liked it. I found that they were more responsive. It was easier to get a hold of my outside sales rep, and that's really important when you're trying to solve a problem for a client. And when it's health insurance, it could be dealing with access to care issues. It could be serious. So it's really important that we have access to people who are responsive and can help us with our questions in a very timely manner. So I found that this new general agency I was working with was quicker on their turnaround for answering questions and helping with service. And I was really liking that. And I still kind of try to give my old GA a chance in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter typically is super busy for health agents like myself. And what I found was, unfortunately, it seemed like this general agency was just really overburdening to employees who were very good, and during the other times of the year, they're very quick on their turnaround time and responsive and attentive. However, during the busy fourth quarter, it was very difficult to not only reach them or to hear back from them in a timely way, but it was just it created a challenge. So anyway, it was interesting. I received a phone call from my old GA, and I'd had a conversation with him about my experience a couple of weeks prior. I just had a heart-to-heart chat with him and just let him know, it's nothing personal, but I was getting better service from a different company. And I told him that I was working on one of the clients that I was had been with them, and that we're going to need to move them. And he had called to offer any additional help. And fortunately, I had already done the work myself that I needed help with on checking on researching the doctor networks 2 or 3 weeks prior. So once again, it was a little bit too late, too little, too late. But I got to thinking, well, which general agency should I use? Because I feel some loyalty to the first one, but I've gotten better service with the second one. And then I pose the question to myself, well, which one is better for the client? And definitely in this case, when someone has high medical needs, I want to work with an agency that has a quick turnaround time on questions. That's just going to enable me to serve my clients better. So naturally, kind of know what the answer is. So that's a little bit about myself and just how I work, and that the client always comes first. And I even use that when I'm evaluating my vendor partners that I work with. I value One of the things I value is being responsive and available to my clients. My clients can call me in the morning and the evening. I've had employees call me from the ER with questions and concerns, and I actually really like it when people feel comfortable and at ease enough with me to call me in those situations if they need reassurance. I'm happy to do that. And so that's a little bit about me. I could tell a whole bunch of other stories, maybe one or two more. About a year ago, for one of my local groups, an employee had been complaining of abdominal pain to some of his coworkers, and then on Monday morning came in to work very sick, and he was in a conference meeting room, white as a ghost, and doubled over in pain. And so the owner's wife said, "I'm driving you to the ER." Now, this employee unfortunately was not enrolled on the group health plan. He was hired back in January, and he had decided to waive the coverage. So we were in a little bit of a pickle here. So the HR assistant reached out to me and said, "Hey, is there anything that we can do?" So after a lot of, we had to pull some strings, jump through some hoops, really do a deep dive on what we could do. But we did get him enrolled for the first of the month. It's actually all that happened in the first month, and the policy went effective that day. So we really helped him out a lot. And he ended up being okay. He did have emergency surgery, ICU stay, and hospitalization. And he maxed out the policy of the platinum plan that we got him, but we really helped him out that way. One other story, another client of mine, it was with a smaller company, and the office manager hadn't had coverage in a couple of years. And but she opted to enroll on the company, the group health plan, and a platinum level plan. I was really glad that she did that, because 8 months later she was in a car wreck, and it was pretty serious. Hospitalization and everything, rehab, but she's okay, thankfully, and maxed out the policy. But thank goodness she had health insurance. So I had explained to her that when she was kind of debating enrolling or not, she thought about waiving coverage, because health insurance wasn't something she had for most of her life, and she wasn't sure if she really needed it. But I explained to her that when you opt to go without health insurance, you're going to waive off of your company's group coverage, or you're not going to enroll in an individual plan. You are opting, in fact, to self-insure. You're not just declining your company's health insurance. You are opting to self-insure against cancer, stroke, heart attack, accidents. We live in an unpredictable world, and so not having health insurance can have some pretty far-reaching consequences. Even within my own family, my sister-in-law, her husband, several years ago, he had a heart attack. At the time, did not have health coverage, had to have a double or quadruple bypass, and had rehabilitation, hospitalization, the whole thing. I'm sure the bill was over $250,000. And she did negotiate with the hospital she said, "Okay, I can pay you $10 a month for the rest of my life." And the hospital took it, but she now has a lien on her house. So if she ever opts to move, she's not going to see any profit from her house at all, because she has that medical debt. So not carrying health insurance can have very far-reaching consequences. So last story I'm going to share is the very first experience that I had, which really showed me how health insurance can really impact people on their daily lives. So I went into a furniture store in my hometown. I live in a small town, and I prospected the that furniture store. First, talked to an employee, and his name was Matt, and talked to him that I offer group health insurance. Would the group be interested in taking a look at the market and doing a review for them? So he put me in touch with the owners, and I did a review for them, and I did find some improvements that could be made. And so I presented my recommendations to the group, and they moved forward and they enrolled on the plans that I had recommended. And then I came back about 1 or 2 months later and talked to the same employee, and he said, "Oh my gosh, you don't know, you've changed my life. I have a chronic condition. I've been on a medication that's super expensive. I could barely afford it. Now I can afford my medication. My copays are so much lower. My payroll deduction is so much lower for my cost share for my benefits. And now I'm not on Medi-Cal anymore. I can work as much as I want." So this really impacted this young man's life, and it just made me feel really good, and it really solidified the belief for me that I could impact people's lives on a daily basis with with health insurance. And so if you have any questions on health insurance, or you have a challenge, I would be happy to help. Just you can reach out to me through my website at storehouse.ins.com, and I'll put a link in the description. I hope these videos have been helpful and inspiring. If you did like the content, I would so appreciate a thumbs up. And that is all for now, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.